And as always, I'm joined in the box.
Check.
And I'm joined in the box here with Marvin Dillon. And Merv, good afternoon to you once again. And we are here for the second semi-final with the news. Alma Safi from Afghanistan is already in.
Yeah, they batted beautifully. Good afternoon to everybody.
So we are all set here. We get the signal from umpire Samuels. And we could be on our way here. Gajanan Singh will be the man on strike.
Young Singh, I actually bowled a few balls against him. Pretty handy, very talented young man. Was really impressed with the few times I saw him bat. So it would be interesting to see if he would be getting and to get off in this innings.
Yes, Merv, Gajanan Singh would have started his junior career having represented Guyana at the regional junior level and then went on to play for the West Indies. Would have been on the same West Indies on the 19th side with the likes of Kyron Pollard and Sunil Narayan at one point, and then, of course, went on to play senior cricket for Guyana. So he's very watchful of the first ball, as Santoki certainly is a very crafty customer.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good competition here. Something that I said to Young Singh, I don't see any reason why you're not involved at the first class level. He has all the shots, very talented, and I think it's just to channel that. And something that he can really go on to do good things because he has the talent, definitely.
Just check in. Can you hear me?
So he gets on inside edge and will run away towards the fine leg boundary. Streaky but effective, Merv. Sometimes it doesn't matter how they come. They're off to a good start. They're 4 without loss.
Yeah, we all need a bit of luck sometimes. So that should get him off. A bit unfortunate there for Santoki, but some luck for Gajanan Singh.
Certainly, Merv, on another day, that will be dragged onto the stumps. But today, it passes the stump, passes Ramdin, and it goes away for 4. So relatively a good start here from Gajanan Singh. And, of course, the scorebook will never reflect what kind of shot it was.
No, it doesn't say that. Not at all. It just says 4 runs, right?
And cricket has always been a numbers game. So whatever brings the numbers up are good, and whatever brings the numbers down, certainly not good. Gajanan Singh off and running here. He's on 5. And bring Jaskaran Malhotra, who has had a good domestic record here on American soil. But I was telling him last night that he was in the commentary box. He has set such a high bar for himself that in as much he's got 20s and he's got a couple of 30s in this tournament, by his standard, this is not a good series for him.
Definitely, and like I said, the talent that he carries, I know he would be disappointed thus far and would definitely want to cash in, probably help his team to go to the finals.
So Santoki with 5 in the over so far. Ball going down the leg side, a diving Ramdin. Oh, caught behind. So a wicket falls here. Jaskaran goes without scoring. Second ball. And Ramdin does all the rest.
As we were just saying, the luck. This one is edged down the leg side and he's out caught. So a bit of a strangle there for Santoki, but I'm sure he'll accept that.
Certainly, and certainly the catch taken by a world-class keeper. Dinesh Ramdin has been around international cricket for some time. He plays all 3 formats for the West Indies and have led the West Indies on many occasions. So a regulation wicketkeeper catch. And Dinesh Ramdin over the years, Merv, in as much as he has been in and out of the West Indies team from time to time, but wicket-keeping-wise, there's not a better wicket-keeper in the Caribbean from a wicket-keeping standpoint as better than Dinesh Ramdin.
Definitely. Dinesh has shown what he can do. I think, when you look at the whole concept, he definitely is the number one as far as, if you have a half a cricket brain, you would look and see that's the guy that should be in the job. Unfortunately, he has been in and out. Sometimes because he hasn't been as consistent with the bat. But the talent, I certainly believe he can play as a batsman as well. So he has the talent and just probably a bit more consistency in his efforts. And he can go on to play for quite a number of years. That is, Mr. Brown has anything to do with it.
So, yes, Merv, you're right on that. But point taken that these days, and especially in one-day international 50-over cricket and T20 cricket, you're looked upon as the wicketkeeper of choice when you start coming good with the bat and not necessarily as being a specialist keeper these days.
Yeah, I think Mr. Dujon would have started that trend. So when you're a wicketkeeper, you're expected to contribute with the bat.
So Akeem Dotson comes out here at 5 for 1. As a number 3 batsman, Merv, it's not a good thing to be batting batting a ball that has only bowled 4 times. So he strokes this one up towards the offside. The ball knocked down there, and he will have to wait before he gets off the mark. So I remember just a couple of nights ago, we saw 22 yards just scampering to put pads on.
It's a funny game, so you always have to keep posted, keep your eyes on the game because it can change really, really quickly.
So it's 5 for 1. They have lost the wicket of Jaskran Malhotra. Dismissed for a duck. Malhotra dismissed for what they would call a golden duck. Marv?
Yeah.
While,
you don't want to see too many of those. It's never a nice feeling.
And while the name sounds very nice, golden duck, essentially means that you've gotten a first ball duck, and I understand if you got a second ball duck, it's called a silver duck, and a third ball duck, a bronze duck.
Well, it goes like the Olympics, I guess. Huh? That's the effort to try and get the sport into the Olympics.
Yes, Marvin. Actually, speaking of the Olympics and athletic, last night during the halftime, we saw 2 of the players. Big argument outside the stadium. Who's the fastest? Well, there's a big cricket field here, and we put them to the test. A fella by the name of McCarthy. He played for one of the team, and they took off running a 400 around this track, and this is a big 400 track, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, probably a little more than 400.
So they went around the track, and it was McCarthy all the way. They were running a 400 meters. McCarthy wins by 100 meters.
And it should pay double. That bet should be paid double.
So sometime today, during the presentation ceremony, we do have that, the gold medal and the silver medalist. There were only 2 runners, unfortunately. So Elmore Hutchison has been given the ball, and Merv, it'll be quite interesting to see here 2 left-arm seamer.
Well, interesting enough, we always raced back when we played, and the only person that has ever beaten me in 100 meters is Ricardo Vowell. But he hasn't taken up the challenge. I tried to get him to race again, but he's never done. He kept the trophy.
I'll ask him about it. So here is Elmore Hutchison to Akeem Dotson. Dotson's trying to go through the onside, doesn't succeed. So we're seeing a lot of southpaws here. We're seeing a pair of southpaws in bowling, and both Akeem Dotson and Gajanan Singh are left-handers.
Yeah, definitely. Dotson seems to be, they apparently must be batting well. They just seem to be quite positive in their approach thus far, and probably looking to make use of the first sixer was the power play, which is very important in this game because it's a really good bat and wicket.
So ball cut away nicely here. Oh, what a stop. What a save by the man at cover. Certainly saved a couple of runs and perhaps a boundary. And finally, Akeem Dotson gets a single. He goes up to 2.
Those are the things that would give fast bowlers a little extra energy. When you have fielders supporting you like that, it's definitely something that inspires you.
And more, we always talk about the power play favoring the batsman, how the batsman should bat. But as a bowler, if you pick up a couple of wickets during the power plays, as we saw Santoki did, it sort of pushed them back a little bit. Definitely, and it's always key, especially in this sort of version. Wickets always helps, despite whatever situation. So picking up wickets in the first, it puts the bat inside on the back foot, and they have to go back and reassess in terms of how they approach the innings. So ball going down the leg side will be called a wide. Any ball that hasn't offered the batsman a fair opportunity to score, the rule says it shall be called a wide. That's the definition of what a wide is, Marv. Yes, as far as cricket is concerned, bowlers are second-class citizens. We all know that. and it's kind of interesting. While the rule says you've got to give the batsman a fair chance to scoring, you as a bowler have to restrict the batsman. Exactly. So a lot of work. So Elmore, this one is outside the off stump this time, and it goes for another wide. So it's 9 for 1. Gajanan Singh is on 5. Akeem Dotson is on 2. They have lost the service of Jaskran Malhotra. Just to go on Hutch, it was a wide ball, but there was a bit of movement. That is what I saw and what I liked. So I think once he gets it online, that will be, especially against these left-handers. And I was talking a little bit earlier to Gajanan. So that goes for 5 wide. So straight down the leg side, and Dinesh Ramdin never had a chance there at all. And it's 14 for 1, Murph. Yeah, he would need it. He would have needed an extension there, a selfie stick to get that one. So 14 for 1. And Murph, I was talking a little bit earlier on with Gajanan Singh, and he was of the opinion that to face 2 of these left-handers in the park today, he would rather take them onto the hot sunshine rather than tonight when the conditions could be very conducive to swing bowling, both Santoki and Elmore Hutchison.
Yeah, the ball does a lot more at night, obviously. Not all the time, but we've seen, talking to a few of the players that have been out there, it definitely does a lot more. It's been doing, especially the late games. So it would be interesting come this evening with the two teams that get into the finals.
And we've
Hope
seen
that will join the Afghanistan team, obviously.
And we've seen a bunch of left-arm seamers in this tournament. We have a pair here right now in Santoki and certainly Elmore Hutchison. We saw Najaf Shah, very tall man. In fact, someone was asking me if he is Mohammed Irfan, and I said no. And by the way, Mohammed Irfan taller than Joel Garner.
Yeah, but he did bowl really well, yes. Actually won the game for his team, so credit must be given to him on such a wicket. And to hit his Yorkers with the accuracy that he did, good on him.
And we also saw Mohammed Khalil, who would have played briefly at the international level, a couple of tests for Pakistan as a batsman scampering for runs here. So good showing here by the Indian Lions, having won the toss and they decide they'll bowl first. So you've got to say things have gone relatively well. They're 15 for 1.
Yeah, it's always good, especially with the amount of first-class and international players that we have coming in for these tournaments. It all goes well for the future, and I can only imagine it will only get better because the teams are getting a lot better. When you play against teams, there isn't a lot of weak teams anymore. Most of the teams are pretty decent, so it's going to build the cricket, and it's going to obviously raise the standard.
So ball getting an edge here from Akeem Dotson. He gets a single out to wide third man, takes the score up to 16 for 1. Gajanan Singh is on 6. He will be the man on strike. Akeem Dotson is on 3. Elmore has given up 10 in the over so far, 5 wides at one point.
Yeah, definitely a loosener there. That one, like we said, Ramden had no chance. And I'm sure Elmore would be trying to make up for that and get it right. Because he's a class bowler. He's been doing pretty well around US cricket for a number of years.
So 16 for 1. Not a bad start, but things I would say even here with the fall of Jaskaran's wicket. So that completes over number 2. And after 2, it's 16 for 1. They've lost Jaskaran Malhotra without scoring. Akeem Dotson is on 3. He will be the man on strike when play resumes here. And you're watching the U.S. All-Stars taking on Indian Lions in the second semi-final with the news Al Masafi out of Afghanistan will be the final, already in the final, having disposed of Houston Stallions.
I had some food poisoning. I tried, but at the end of it, I had to forego that. And I think it was Stuart Williams.
Yeah, well,
Colin Stewart, sorry, I'm saying Stuart Williams, my good buddy.
Well, to just polish off here, so Marv Dillon started an over in Sri Lanka. He bowled a couple of balls and fell ill, and the ball was given to Colin Stewart. And Colin Stewart bowled a couple of beamers, and he was taken out of the game. And then Chris Gale had to finish things off. This ball is guided away. Good-looking shot here from Akeem Dotson. Runs away for 4. And the left-hander, he picks up a boundary. In fact, Gajanan Singh, the man on strike. And Gajanan Singh goes up to 10, short and wide, outside the off-stump, and Gajanan Singh gets 4 runs.
Definitely. And it shows how good the wicket is. He just got it in the gap, and it ran away. The outfield is quite quick as well.
So one of the over in recorded Test cricket history. Started by Marv Dillon, bowled a few by Colin Stewart, and finished off by Chris Gale. The only over in the history of Test cricket that took 3 men to finish.
Yep, you get into the record book no matter what you do.
So ball, a full toss, worked away over the onside, and it goes away quite quickly here. Gajanan Singh goes up to 14, a loose ball there from Santoki.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be too happy with that. Despite a low full toss, he still had to put it away. So it's not you would see a lot of players with bad balls, and sometimes they would hit it directly to fieldsman. So you still have to execute the shot. So some credit to him. And Santoki is normally very consistent, very hard to get away with all the tricks that he has.
So you've got to say a very good start here by U.S. All-Stars. They're batting at 26 for 1. This is just the 3rd over, Merv. And they're going at over 9 and over. So a good recovery, considering they would have lost. They've lost a wicket in the first over, a partnership of 21. Gajanan Singh is on 15. He's batted fluently, and Akeem Dotson on 4.
Yeah, Indian Lions, they haven't been as consistent. They have a few loose balls. They have been bowling a few loose balls. The wides with from Elmore, now from Santoki. So we probably just need to be a little more consistent and let the batters work for their runs. Right now, we're giving it to them. So.
And more of what I've noticed from the Indian Lions setup. First of all, you got to talk about the leadership here Ricardo Powell certainly brings sound leadership to the squad.
Yeah, and all the players have so much respect for him. So it's somebody that definitely, like I said, a good leader, very good cricket brain. And to have somebody like Ramdane on the field helping him as well, I know it's a really, really good combination. So he would work things out and assess things. The wicket looks even better today. So we should see a lot of runs, definitely.
So, of course, Ricardo Powell leading the charge out in the middle. And, of course, yourself being part of the Indian setup. And then you look across a little bit earlier on. I saw Orlando Baker getting the boys out together and just making sure that things are right. And in U.S. cricket setup, there's not a better player than Orlando Baker.
Yeah, definitely. But he has been, like I said yesterday, he's somebody that you know. Once you talk about U.S. cricket, you mention Orlando Baker. So he has been around for a long time. Very talented guy. Even at his age, he still, keeps himself pretty fit. So it's good to see. You have a lot of players still trying to, especially with the younger players around. Having those guys will definitely help.
So a short ball here from Elmore Hutchinson, pulled away nicely here by Gajanan Singh. He picks up another boundary. He goes up to 19. And another short ball from Elmore Hutchinson. Given the full treatment, is 30 for 1.
Yeah, Gajanan Singh is not going to go die one thing. He's going to give it a go. He's, like I said, very aggressive. And he definitely, it's not like he's a slum. He has the shot. So on this wicket, I don't think you want to be bowling too short to him.
Yes, Merv, we've seen a lot of bowler. Once they pitch it up, they seems to be doing well. And the minute you give the batsman a chance to go off the back foot, it hasn't gone well. So you have played at the international level. You know what a strip like this would really take from a fast bowler.
Yeah, you have very little room for any mistakes on this pitch. You have to be on point. I just say, as Ambrose would say, you got to hit the coin every time, or else the minute you're off, slightly off, the players are people like Gajan and Singh. They're gonna put you away. So
Singh on 19, he's batted well so far. Oh, he's cutting and cutting well. 4 more runs towards backward punch, short and wide. And that's the kind of shot left-handers or any handers would want to play. Gajanan Singh goes up to 23, is 34 for 1.
Yep, and we've seen the talent. Some very good shots from the young man. As I said, he has all the shots and a very dangerous player at the top of the innings.
So 2 short and 2 wide, 34 for 1. And Elmore Hutchinson, he's bowled 9 balls. He's given up 18 runs, so certainly not good in T20 context. If you look across to Santoki, he's bowled 2 overs for 16. And he's taking 1 wicket. Gajanan Singh on 23 is 34 for 1. 99 balls still to be bowled. And you're watching the second semi-final. And the Indian Lions team, a very strong lineup. Lopez taking a leave today.
Yeah, he did his hamstring in the game yesterday, and he definitely not feeling that well. So hopefully with some treatment throughout the day, he might be able to play the finals. But it's a hamstring, and it's normally a very dodgy area,
So coming down the track, not timing it well, and it has eluded Lendell Simmons, and finally goes up towards the long off boundary for a 4. Not timed well, perhaps not in full control, but he gets 4 and he goes up to 27. Has gone Merv, not good here for Indian Lions.
Not good at all. Definitely a really good start here for the All-Stars. I'm sure they will be very happy thus far. Ricardo, on the other hand, and it was very similar yesterday. Probably wasn't as prolific, but we haven't bowled well in the power plays thus far. So hopefully we can work some magic as we did in the middle overs.
So Gajanan Singh has given All Stars a very rapid start. He has gone up to 20. He has gone up to 31 from just 16 balls. Akeem Dotson is on 4, and they've certainly made a big recovery here, having lost Jaskaran Singh off the very first ball that he had faced. And so things have really gone U.S. All Stars way. They'll need a good platform here. Many in this competition feel that the U.S. All Stars they're top heavy, but they're a little bit soft in the middle.
Well, the way they're playing, you wouldn't mind being top heavy. They're definitely proving that theory, right? So The thing about Gajanan, he's Guyanese, so spin is normally you have opening batters who are very good at playing fast bowling and a little suspect to the spin. I don't think that's the case on this occasion. Coming from Guyana, he would have faced a lot of spin bowling, and he's quite adapted it.
Yes, Marv, and in fact, speaking of Gajanan Singh, he's one of a few dozens of players contracted by the Guyana Cricket Board. Like anything else, we know players offering professional contract is the thing these days in West Indies, and he's one of the contracted players on the Guyana team, which means he gets a stipend to concentrate on cricket and better himself.
I'm happy to hear that, definitely, because as I said, and I can't say it enough, that he's a really talented young player, and the fact that he's in the setup, which means it's up to him now to work to get himself, to the highest level, to the next level, and then obviously to the highest level.
So Dotson goes up to 5. Gajanan Singh is on 31. And they've made a very quick start here. They're 43 for 1. We're still in the power plays. We're still in over number 5.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Ricardo. He's always the one. He enjoys the challenge, and he will always come in the difficult situations as captain. You'll find some captains who might shy away from it, but no, he's always in it.
Yes, Marv, you're right on that. And of course, apart from providing good leadership, even at this time of his career, Ricardo Powell still holds his own as a batsman, as an off-spinner, and boy, I tell you, he can still jump around the cricket field. And we looked the other night and saw Ricardo Powell feeling a backward point, and we know our international cricket well. We know that some of the best fielders in the world, they start at backward point, especially in the early stages of T20 cricket.
It's amazing. I mean, I remember him there when we played back in the day in one day international cricket, and just knowing that Ricardo is there, you just felt so much more comfortable because not much got past him, and he's always been so quick. Even now, he's still, he's still up there with the best in the world. When you look at him move, even at his age now, and hasn't played at the highest level for such a long time, it's amazing that he still moves the way he does.
And the fact is that is why he continues to play, because he can compete. Ball driven nicely here by Akeem Dotson. Beats the man within the 30-yard circle, and it goes away for 4. That's a good-looking shot from the left-hander.
Yeah, definitely. Both players looking very comfortable at the moment. We definitely should be, I'm sure, looking to pick up a wicket or two here to kind of curb the run scoring, because they are scoring at a rapid rate. We would want to pull that back. And I say we as in an Indian Lions.
So projected score here looking to be like 214. So good one here for U.S. All-Stars. They've gotten off to a very good start. They're approaching a 50. And we are still in the power play overs. Oh, pulled away. Short ball. And manipulated through the onside. That's a good-looking shot from Akeem Dotson. He goes up to 13 and brings up the 50 here for U.S. All-Star. They're 52 for 1.
Yeah, they got there pretty quickly. A good score so far. A perfect start from the All-Stars. And like I said, Lions, the wicket is a very good wicket. So I think it's Ricardo has the experience. He knows, and he will assess that and understand it's a good wicket. And just keep fighting. You have to keep plugging away, and try and save as much runs as possible. So every run you save is one run less that you have to score.
So we see Ricardo Powell flexing the right arm, so he could be in a bit of discomfort here. Ball driven down the ground. Good-looking shot here from Dotson. And 1 is added to the scorecard, 53 for 1. Dotson goes up to 14, brings Gajanan Singh on 32. I'm not too sure if with the little discomfort we've seen from Powell here, if he'll need a couple of bowlers to finish his over.
And he also got hit yesterday while batting, so he has a bit of a sore leg. But he's a fighter, and he will fight through.
So 5 gone is 54 for 1, with Gajanan Singh on 33 not out, and Akeem Dotson on 14. We'll quickly bring in Vinod here, and Marv is 54 for 1. A very quick start here by U.S. All-Stars.
The perfect start.
And you did so much. Looking at this lineup and looking at the what has played off in the series so far, Gajanan Singh seems to be one of the key players. A lot depends on him. I think getting his breakthrough is something that the Lions would really want.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, he's such a positive player that if he bats for any length of period, he's going to score runs. I think the only way you're going to stop him is to get him out, because once he's there, he's going to score runs and score quickly.
Yes, definitely. And we're going to see Danza Hyatt missed out in the last game, but he's back, has been used as an effective bowler.
Yeah, Danza, he didn't play yesterday. He was a bit sore after the first day. Some issues with his shoulder. But you look at him, he's a very strong guy. So I'm sure he will fight it out, and hopefully he can put a bowler spell here to help his captain to pull things back a bit, because it's needed. We don't want them to run away to anything over 180 or anything like that.
There's a delivery pitch on his leg, and it's picked up, and he's out caught. Danza Hyatt continues to be the man with the golden arm here.
And he goes straight to Ramden, as usual.
And, of course, he goes to Ramden to rub it in. That delivery, pretty lucky, though. That delivery was overpitched on the legs, and Gajanan Singh will be kicking himself, having gotten dismissed in that manner, clipping that one straight to the mid-wicket boundary. He's on his way for 33, faced just 18 deliveries, and the second U.S. All-Stars wicket has fallen.
That's the thing, Vinod. I've played long enough to understand that you do need a bit of luck sometime. So that's some luck for the Indian Lions there. Like I said, a half volley on leg stump and straight to the fielder at a deep backward square. So not a very good shot from Gajanan. Probably didn't time it as well, or timed it too well, that it got all the way to the fielder on the boundary.
Yes, and he's trudging off. A very disappointed man.
As he should be, huh?
Yes, definitely. And here comes skipper Hassan Raza. At the post-match interview yesterday, I'd asked him, if he's batting well and there has been some problems with his lineup, if he would consider promoting himself in the order. But he has actually done it. He's now coming in at number 4, because previously he was coming in at 5. And I think what he needs to do now is to get the rest of the guys to bat around him and take it from there. They've made a very promising start. As Lenny was saying, the projected score 214, now it's 208. And always after the power play, when you look at projected scores, it's going to give you a score that could be contaminated, so to speak, because of the fact that the field is in, and they could take advantage of that. But this is a crucial period. As I said before, moving whilst doing commentary with you, I believe that the middle overs are so crucial in determining what score you get.
Yeah, and this is where we've been picking up wickets in the game yesterday, and today again we just picked another one, which is a good thing. We haven't started pretty well, but we seem to come into it, in the middle overs. So hopefully we can do the same thing today and really restrict the team, because yesterday they were projected to score 170, 180 with the start they had as well, and we managed to get them out for 124. So.
Well, Mr. Hart is not so lucky on this occasion. He continues down that leg stump line and is clipped away there by Dodson down to the long leg boundary for 4. The score has now progressed to 58 for 2. You're making the point, Movie.
Yeah, and even if you look at the wicket, it just seems a lot fresher than it was yesterday. So one has to wonder, and it would be a bit of a concern for Ricardo, how well the spinners will do, because they were key in the game yesterday, young Alexander and Sonny. So it would be when they do get a chance to bowl, it would be nice to see how they were and how the ball comes off the pitch, and I suppose that will have a huge impact in terms of how many runs they score.
Definitely, that is the idea. Dotton gets a single down to long on, and that continues. So you've been around the team, of course. You've been an official of the team, a player official. What has been the mood of the squad, and in particular Hyatt, after those wicket-taking performances?
Well, now he looks at me now, because I kind of I'm a bit of a manager coach, because I'm not playing, so I'm more into that side of it, to try and help out as much as I can. So when it comes to massage therapy, he wants to be the first one, because he's the most important player at the moment. So you have to massage the big dogs, as we call them, first. He's earned that right.
Well, he's doing a job. Yeah, just back of a length, and this delivery is played down by the very experienced Hassan Raza, the third man for a single. The score goes on to 60 for 2. And Hyatt continues his work. He has taken 1 for 6 after 4 deliveries.
Yeah, and when you look at the camp,
Hyatt again, still the over continues. Will he ever end this over? train down the leg side, and that's a wonderful shot there from Hassan Raza, just allowing that delivery to come on to him and placing it expertly down to the deep backward square leg boundary for 4. 65 for 2 after 7.
Hyatt completing his first over, 1 for 11. The wicket probably, 5 or 6 too many runs in the over, but the wicket definitely was a plus for them. Gajanan Singh, who was going great guns. So it was very nice to see the back of him, and you have to give some credit to Hyatt.
Well, that was the key wicket in my estimation. Gajanan Singh has been batting well at the top of the order for the US All-Stars. Yesterday he was saying that he was very disappointed that he was not carrying on. And we are seeing something that happens at the IPL. There's a team huddle, and then he calls it a strategic timeout.
That is just the experience of Ricardo. I played with him for a while now, and when he does this a lot, he will pull people together and just to remind them of what they're about and what the plans are, which I think is a very good move. So just to refresh people's mind, it has been a bit of an up and down performance so far. So I think it was a good move to get the guys in and just remind them of what the plans are and what we talked about in the team meetings.
So far, 65 runs to the good. They've lost 2 wickets, the US All-Stars. And you look at the batting of the US All-Stars, and to me, it's pretty thin.
Well, that's one of the things that we discuss. But one of the things I always remind the guys in the team meetings, cricket is played on the day. And so you have to go out there and kind of assess things and be able to think on your feet. We might make plans the night before, the morning before the game, but sometimes that changes. Depend on the different plays that you might have discussed, and someone else might come out and totally prove you wrong. So it's just a game, and you have to be able to think quickly and be able to react to different situations when you get out there.
Camillus Alexander from the far end, the leg spinner. This one played down to a short third man, no run.
A good start from Alexander from where he left off yesterday. He was very key. He was key in the game. Picked up the first 3 wickets, and basically, cut the legs out of our opponents yesterday. So hopefully he can repeat his performance. He's normally a very consistent bowler, and as I mentioned, the wicket looks a lot fresher than it did yesterday. So we have to wait and see how.
And he's bowled him. A beautiful delivery there by Alexander. That one touched down just outside the off stump and struck the top of the leg stump. And that's a Shane Warne lookalike delivery.
Yeah, that was a beautiful delivery. Absolutely beaten all ends up. And Alexander again. I said he got into the team due to the injury of Mr. Hyatt yesterday. And now